Hey guys, here we go into round four of Joseph Parker versus um, Anthony Joshua. Um, it's been like a couple weeks, I guess, since the fight, and to be honest, I still haven't finished it. I've been so busy. I'm in school right now. I've been doing a lot of other things, other hobbies and stuff, and with the Lara Hurd fight, which was just super fantastic, like really fun to watch. I just didn't have time to finish. But I did this. I actually made this video last week, um, and I just didn't put commentary over it. But I chopped it up and watched it. It was really fun. And this round for me, really things really start to get kicking. And I think this is actually going to be the last round. There's been a lot of fall off in the views and stuff, and like nothing against anybody who is still watching it. I really appreciate you guys. Um, but um, it's going to be the last one, and then I'm going to move on because we've only got a few more weeks till a couple of other really big fights come up. So I kind of want to do those ones. I was planning on doing Golovkin Canelo, but that's canceled. So if you guys are interested in doing whoever he fights, I think it might be Vanes Martirosyan, who is actually a fantastic fighter. You guys, he's, I mean, I haven't studied his film, to be honest. I haven't, but I remember like a while ago I used to be like super fanboy on his fights. He's fun, he's exciting, he's a pressure fighter, and he does kind of have that like jab and grab style, like Amir Khan, right? He's kind of like Amir Khan 2.0 in that regard. He's just not as fast, but he's been using that style training with Freddie Roach for much longer than Khan was, so he's much better at it. Even though I'm not like the biggest fan of that, right? Like there are other things you can do to box your opponent. I'm getting off track. Anyway. The next two film studies I'm going to do either going to be that one, um, Alexander Usyk versus Gassiev, or Jorge Linares versus Vasily Lomachenko. Um, Now, I do plan on doing all of those, right? It's just which one I'm going to do next. So anybody who's still watching this video and hasn't cut out from like 2 minutes of me just droning on, excuse me, there's going to be some comments in the comment section, and those of you that watch the video are going to get the opportunity to vote. So actually, I'm gonna choose Loma Linares or Gassiev Usyk. I'm gonna put two separate comments and just thumb up the one that you guys want to see. And I'll say um, by Saturday morning, whichever one has more thumbs up is going to be the one that I do first. Um, but I'm really excited about him. I actually already started the Lomachenko Linares fight. Some really interesting stuff. I'm like super excited about it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get through this flow of the fight for round four. So what we learned so far is Joshua dipping forward on his lead leg and starting to get timed on his jab, and starting to kind of make it easy for Parker to create space. Right now, someone in the last comment section said that none of these punches landed or whatever, like all that. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Thinking that punches are only used to score points, right? And that's just not true. It's just not, right? If I throw a jab at you or I feint you, right, or I, I'm gonna make you think for a second, right? And that might be the difference between me getting off the ropes and me taking 5 body shots and then a headshot that get me knocked out, right? So Joshua Parker has been able to create space a little more effectively by understanding Joshua's timing. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to put it in slow-mo, and we're going to go ahead and go through it. But there's a few things that I want you to watch, right? And we're going to be watching Joshua for the majority of this one, right? But watch Joshua as he leans forward, right? And watch his head, the way his head moves when he leans forward. Like moving forward right here, and look at how he moves forward right here, right? So he moves forward, feinting hard, right? Moves forward, and then when he takes that step, he goes to catch the jab, right? Because he knows that Parker's timing him on that jab, right? And he takes a step forward, and look at how he leans his head just a little bit to the left, right? In case that jab comes out, he can slip it, right? Understanding that that's when he needs to move his head is when he takes a step, because that's when Parker's been shooting a jab, right? Again, right? And then he takes a step right there, just a little slight one, steps forward, and then gets. I don't think Parker's doing anything to make him do that, but he's worried about the timing. He's trying to bait that jab, right? He's trying to bait that kind of counter to his timing, right? Shooting the jab off of that after he sees that nothing's coming, right? After he sees that Parker's not doing anything, right? He feels safe to shoot his jab. Moving forward, again, moving his head a little bit when he steps forward. Oh, beautiful. Stepping forward, again, right? Getting away from that jab. Just watch that one more time. Watch him. Steps forward. And look at how he just leans away out of the way of that jab, right? Understanding the timing, and he's looking to take that jab away from Parker, right? Remember, the levels to it. I talk a little bit about this in the Lara Hurd fight, right? You have your game plan. Your opponent has their game plan. Then they have their game plan of taking away your game plan, and you have a game plan for taking away their game plan, right? Joshua's game plan is to get in there, feint with the lead hand, set up right hands, right? Use the jab to control him and push him to the ropes. And then Parker's game plan is to fight on the outside, I guess. To be honest, I don't know what the hell he's hoping to do for his offense, because it doesn't seem like he's very crafted style, right? And that just means like he's a fine fighter, you guys. Like, don't get me wrong, right? For the ABCs of boxing, he's going to beat a lot of guys. That's just the way it is. He has enough skill to do that. But at the highest level, you really got to have a craft for setting your shots up, a craft for defending yourself, built off of the way that in the fights and the rhythms that you have. And we're going to talk a lot about this when we do the Lomachenko film study. Jesus Christ, that guy has craft. But Parker is looking to take away whatever it is Joshua's trying to do, right? Like more of a competitor, right, than a boxer, I'll say, right? Than a professional fighter, right? Just someone who's a hardcore competitor. Just stopping your opponent from doing what they want to do is more important than what you want to do, I guess. I don't know. But when he steps forward, right, the jab, he starts shooting the jab to break Joshua's timing, and now that level of it, in order for Joshua to do what he wants to do, right, he needs to take away that jab of Parker's to get back to doing what he wants to do so that he can execute his style of fighting. Now, this is beautiful, right? He understands that Parker's countering his jab, so he shoots this jab. Look at how he moves his head when he ducks down like this. Very Golovkin-like, right? Golovkin will shoot the jab, right? Let me get this. He'll shoot the jab, right? And he'll kind of step forward and duck his head like this to get under while he kind of shoots forward, right? So boom, and then comes up with the right hand over the top. If you try to counter his jab, right? But he'll have his, just real crafty. And Joshua was able to slide past his jab and get on the inside. He winds up smothering his work, right? Because maybe he anticipates Parker maybe taking a step back or moving away like this rather than countering, but he still moves his head, right? Very smart. Again, moving his head when he jabs, feinting, and look at how he catches the jab this time, right? So when he shoots that jab, boom, he knows that he's going to be getting countered, right? He knows what Parker's trying to do is take away that jab, counter him on that jab, and take away that timing from him to continue creating space, right? But he's starting to pick up on other ways to do that. Again, beautiful, right? So when he leans forward on this one, he takes that step, and Parker tries to catch him while he's taking that step, but Joshua's one step ahead of him, right? Remember last round, even though I don't think that Parker necessarily won the round, he was doing good things to offset Joshua's rhythm to stop him from being able to just beat the crap out of him, right? And again, that's what a good jab does, right? It can break your rhythm. You just having enough knowledge about boxing to understand that you need to feint, you need to you need to probe, you need to do things to get your opponent out of position, or at the very least, stop them from setting up their punches against you. Anyway, boom, lands a great counter right there off of the catch, right? Stepping forward. And this time, he does the same motion that he did last time, right? Where he shoots the jab to the body, and then he ducks his head to the side, right? To get away from the jab counter. But Parker switches it up to a left hook, right? Really smart. It's good that he's making an adjustment right there. Boom, and now this is beautiful, you guys, right? Now remember earlier when we had Joshua walking forward and he would go like this, move his head just a little bit like this when he would step forward, right? He's going to do that right here. Takes a step, right? And when he's taking that step, he times Parker's jab so that when he takes it, he dips down to the right, onto his right leg, and then launches a right hand over the top of that jab, right? Parker's moving off the line when he shoots the jab, right? Circling to his left, so he's able to get out of the way of the shot, right? If you notice the trajectory of the shot, right? If Parker stays there, where his head is right here, and doesn't continue moving off the line, boom, that would have been a great shot from Joshua. Now, even though the punch doesn't land, right, and someone else made a comment about that, right, the punches aren't even landing, you know, the fact that he has to now worry about right hands over the top of his jab, he has to worry about the counter left hook, he has to worry about the counter jab, the catch jab, he has to worry about the jab to the body, all of those things that are tools to take away Parker's jab, right, to stop Parker from being able to continue to keep him at a distance so that he's going to get able to get close enough to start having more dominant rounds and setting up his punches. Even if Parker doesn't want to engage with him, the fact that he's not controlling the space and he might look like he's running at times because he's afraid to use his jab, is all due to the fact that Joshua is making adjustments to these punches that are coming. Anyway, moving on. Again, look at how he's about to take a step on that lead left leg, and then he's like, oh, what are you doing there, huh? Takes a step in again, right? Feinting him, taking a step, and then he sees that Parker's not trying to counter him, right? Because he's effectively taking that jab away from him, taking that tool. Now, this is what I love. This is my favorite part about boxing, is getting to see fighters' adjustments, right? The patterns, the things that they change in the fight, right? And now Parker, not using a solid jab anymore, right? Just feinting, right? Oh, here's a little probe. No energy used. You just stick your glove out there, right? And Joshua has to respect it. He doesn't know if it's going to be a real punch. He doesn't know if it's setting up another shot. He doesn't know. And this is how it creates space, right? Just a little breathing time, a little opportunity for you to maneuver around the ring. Maybe if he does it when he's on the ropes a little more rather than in the center of the ring, so he can kind of skirt off the ropes and, get back to the center of the ring so he doesn't kind of take shots there. It'll be a little more effective, actually utilizing the space that he creates. But it's very smart that he's doing that. Feinting, stepping, feinting off of that lead leg, right? Feinting off that lead leg, feinting off that lead leg. And then Parker again, right? Shooting the throwaway jab. It's not even a real punch, right? It's not even a real punch. Parker showing that he's trying to catch the jab right now, trying to catch it, right? And then Joshua baits him into giving away his hand, right? Now this is really smart because Parker knows that this is the most opportune time for Joshua to throw a punch, right? He's got him on the ropes. He's basically out of position because if Joshua floods him, he can't move back away from a shot. He can only move into a linear path that might move him into the right hand, right? Or out the other way into the left hook, right? So Parker understands that he's basically out of position, right? But also Joshua understands that Parker knows he's out of position, right? This is not either of these guys' first rodeos, right? So he understands that there's a very high likelihood of this not being a feinted shot from him, right? Very similar to what Erislandy Lara used to do when he would move around the ring, what Daniel Jacobs did to Golovkin, right? And he would catch him on the gloves, and then he would circle out, and people were like, oh, he's outboxing Golovkin, even though he's not landing the punch, right? But anyway, Joshua able to set that up and take that tool away from him, right? Not give it any effectiveness. Oh, and I love this, you guys. This is beautiful. So he feints off that lead leg like he's shooting that jab, and then Parker goes to catch him with a counter, right? But Joshua catches it and then throws that left hook. And look at how he falls off balance, man. He really threw the power into that shot. Not great that he falls off balance, but it's funny to point it out because usually he's so on balance. I guess he was really into that shot right there. Again, head movement when he shoots the jab, understanding the timing. But, boom. And now this is interesting. I just want to point this out, right? Watch how he shoots the jab, right? And then he gets a look at Parker to see, oh, is there a counter coming back? What's he doing, right? But look at how the rhythm of the shot, right? 1, 2 over the top, right? And that's very consistent for Joshua. Very, very consistent. I think only one time in the 4 rounds leading up to this has he ever thrown a boom, boom, just a 1, 2, right? Now in this next clip, right, he's feinting, he shoots, he's feinting, steps, and Parker thinks it's going to be a jab, right? But he goes around the side with the left hook and kind of cracks him with it. Again, a punch that I thought was going to be much more effective than and again, I haven't seen the rest of the fight. I've only seen up to 6 rounds. But I'm going to probably watch the rest of it after this video just because I feel guilty. But moving on. Again, taking away that lead hand counter from Parker, right? Making him pay for it, making him pay for the counters, making him pay for using the jab. Now, this is beautiful, right? Um, oh, shoot. Did I forget to talk about something? I'm not sure. Maybe it was in the last video, but there was a scene where Joshua shoots a jab at him and he just ducks down. He doesn't move away. He doesn't run away. He just slips the shot and then moves his head again, right? Staying in punching range, right? And now this is the dividend that pays for him by staying on the line with him. But also, if we go back to that rhythm where Joshua shoots that jab, gets a look at his opponent to see how he reacted so he could throw his right hand or throw, so he knows what to do, right? We get a timing for Parker, right? So the jab comes, right? And instead of countering right away off the jab, right, he catches the jab, and then because Joshua never throws a quick boom, boom, right? It's always boom, plant, and then throw a right hand or throw a left hook or whatever he does, right? Parker's able to close the distance and throw some shots. You know, he doesn't land anything, right? You know, maybe that right hand to the body lands, you know, but that's not important. It's not important that whether he lands the shot or not. It's the flow of the fight. So this may make Joshua make an adjustment later on in the round 2, right? Or later on in the fight for the way that he feints his jabs or he sets up his shots or the way that he throws his 1-2, right? Maybe he'll fake a right hand, right? And then throw a left hook right after, thinking that that's going to bring Parker in, right? Off of that rhythm, right? But anyway, moving on. It's not super important, but it's interesting, right? Oh, this is the clip right here. This is the clip. I love this. Now Parker getting comfortable, understanding that there's a rhythm that Joshua punches on, right? That he can stay there. And now he moves off the line, off of that rhythm, right? Just beautiful how he's making these adjustments. I'm really excited to see how the rest of the fight develops. There's not a lot of homework for my class this weekend, so I'll get to do a decent amount of film study and boxing work. But anyway, really interesting stuff. Round 3, again, was predicated on Parker picking up on Joshua's timings, I think. I'm pretty sure. And now Joshua picking up on the timing that Parker is picking up on, right? And setting traps for it, right? Like stepping forward and using head movement, boom, coming over with the right hand and doing some really interesting stuff. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And also remember, vote for Linares or Loma or Gassiev versus Usyk for my next film study. And then after that one, I'll do another vote for Golovkin versus X and whoever doesn't win this vote to see what I do after that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks, guys.